I would like to tell the world that today, I didn't think I was going to make it. And I'm going to let everybody know there are days when you wake up and you think to yourself, do you know what? Somebody,
I feel like you should be playing for her while she says
Can you play for me?
No.
Can you add some music in the background while I tell my story? Please. Lyndon.
It's not going to work.
No, not right now, but just I'm saying in the future.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll put it in the edit.
Yeah, okay, let me get ready. You know, family, I just want to say, there are days when you wake up and you feel to yourself that, you know, in the Bible, there's a story of Job, and Job was a great man, a brilliant man, and he had loads of riches and everything, And one day, God and the devil had a conversation, and the devil was basically saying that there wasn't anybody good in this earth, and God's like, no, have you considered my servant Job? Yeah, that was me today. Actually, that was me on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. God said to the devil, have you considered my servant Fabrice? Because the nonsense that I went through today was wild and out of control. But since I made it, and I never would have made it without God. So I'm here. So this podcast is going to be sponsored by Grace, an abundance of mercy and blessings. Just want to put that out there.
And pest control.
And pest control.
Yeah, but Job didn't actually made it. He got a brand new family, so the old one was passed away.
So what are you trying to tell me?
So it's just not that bad.
Oh, I thought you were saying that we were going to be passed away.
I thought you were trying to tell me that I wasn't going to have anything. I told you when I came in.
I said you should thank God that he treated you better than.
Well, that's true.
He treated Job.
Yeah, but today was bad. It was terrible.
Or better than he allowed Job to be treated.
Amen. Thank you.
I mean, the general let's not cut, split hairs here. She went through a troubling week.
She did.
It was mad.
And she made it over.
And also, I had a whole Uber uncle really try to convince me that he wanted to be my friend. And you know what? It was so funny.
Where's he from?
Kwame's from Ghana.
Okay.
And I actually, he was the funniest, most persistent Uber uncle I've ever met in my life.
There's a lot of them.
And he kept saying to me, no, but can I have your number? I said to him, now, to be honest, I'm not going to call you. He goes, you know what's why I like you? I told you you're a nice girl. I like you because you're honest. Some girls are asked their number and they're not honest with me. And I said to him, but Kwame, you have a wife? He's like, no, but don't worry, she lets me have friends. I said, no, she doesn't. And then he kept saying to me, I said to him, Kwame, I've got a very jealous, fictitious boyfriend. Mind your business, everybody. And I said, I've got a boyfriend, and you know what? He doesn't really like
your
it.
Fictitious boyfriend block your real blessing. Not Kwame, maybe not him, but it's good for you to point out that he's fictitious.
He's fictitious. And I said to Kwame,
I've got a picture of him up right now. Wait and see.
And I told Kwame that I had a boyfriend, and he said, that's okay. I said to him, no, Kwame, I'm not really allowed to talk to other guys. He gets very jealous, blah, blah. That's my go-to, yeah? And he said to me, so what we'll do, Kwame had a plan. He said, no, don't worry. I won't call you tomorrow. I won't even call you this week. I'll call you in a month, and we can talk and we can have a nice time.
A whole month. Do you know why he's going to call you in a month? Because he's actually dropped Shelley, Denise, and I don't know, Angelique earlier on, and he's scheduled that actually he's got someone else that he can call tomorrow. So don't worry, we'll put you on the roster for a month.
It was so funny. I recorded him saying, can we be friends? You have a nice voice. I knew you were a nice person when you opened the door. How did I open the door to get in the Uber, babe?
Because you didn't open the door like this. You opened it with gentleness.
Have them men not been rejected enough?
He's got a wife. Hello, he's married.
People react to rejection differently. Some people get knocked down and they stay down. Some people get knocked down and they start to duck and dive. And some people get knocked down and they say, you know what? It's okay, I can handle it. Give me some more. And I feel like that's what and actually I think a lot of them turn out to be Uber drivers because they're like, you know what? Why not? I think they treat it as a practice.
He was
so Uber driver that held my hand, and I said, "What? Why?" I went to. I don't know what.
Held
why,
your hand.
Do you remember? I went to shake. I don't know why I had to. I don't know. But I remember I recorded it on voice note.
Oh yeah.
And then I said, I don't know how I ended up here. I was trying to.
What happened when he held your hand?
I don't know. He was trying to tell me like, oh, I can take you out. A whole bunch of things, and I was like,
did anything change after he held your hand?
I was trying to get away.
No, did anything change about him when he held your hand?
I was just trying to get away.
Keep your hands away from people, Angela.
I was just trying to get away. I said, why did I shake this man's hand? I can't remember. He switched off the. You know what? But the thing is, I think also
he turned off the engine.
He turned off the engine when we got to the house. He parked up, turned off the engine, and turned round.
Can I just say something, Angela? I actually think you have. Uber drivers are attracted to you when we were in America.
No,
I don't know what
you're missing my
story is
point. She lets them touch her hand.
No, it was polite. It was just like, you know what, it was nice to see you. And he was like, it's nice to meet you. And I said, you know, it's cool, I need to go in. And he reached out his hand, why am I going to do this? No,
When
that's rude. That's mannerless.
When somebody reaches to shake your hand and you don't know them, you don't have to shake their hand.
It was before the Corona
Let me tell you
times.
something. When we were in America, and we got into various Ubers. I think we actually got, let's say, 75 Ubers in our time in America, easily. I would say 75. Anyway, there was one time we were in the DMV area. We were in, where were we? Maryland.
Yeah,
I think we were in Maryland,
or
and
Virginia.
this guy picked us up in his like a sedan kind of car.
I can't remember the story, to be honest.
Okay.
No, honestly, I'm actually
and
realizing
so we were talking about he was basically telling us the sights of like DC, and he said, over there is Potomac, and then I said, blah blah, are you from Potomac? And he was like, how did you know I'm from Potomac? Then he told us his whole life story about his wife and how he'd gone down to Atlanta for 3 weeks, and how he wanted to drive an Uber down there, but he couldn't. He didn't have the right license. He was really angry. Blah blah blah, whatever. And then we got to like where we were staying, which was basically the hood central, but it was still nice inside, but it was still hood. Anyway, and then like he just took a shine to Angela, and he was chatting away.
I can't confirm the story.
And then saying that he wasn't going to let us out of the car. And
yes!
Yeah.
I was coming back to me there. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He wasn't going to let us out of the car. He was like,
did she give him her hand?
No, there was no
yes, she did.
No, you're such a liar. Can I just also say that I don't know what's been insinuated here, but if there's ever any contact, it's a shake. It's just a normal shaking of the person's hand.
It's true. No, she didn't shake his hand, but he really took a shine to her.
Leave me alone. This day,
and I was just sitting there like, we need to get out of this car, friend. We need to get out of the car and into the hood.
He said he wasn't going to let us out.
That's what he said a few times. And then he was like, next time you come back, I want you to have my personal number. Are you all right? No, thanks.
And he had a whole wife. We're going to talk about single married guys in another episode, maybe somewhere far down the line.
Single married.
They're more common than you think.
Single married guys.
They're more common than you think.
But you know what? It is what it is. But those Uber drivers, I don't know where you get the strength. I don't know if it's a certain type of guy that does Uber driving that has that extra level of tenacity.
They're bored. They're driving around all day.
Yeah.
And then, do you know, he said to me at the end, so basically he's like, where are you from? Because he picked me up from the storage container, and he was like, where are you mean? I said to him, what do you mean? He's like, where are you from? I said to him, Jamaica. He's like, oh, okay, I like Jamaica. I said to him, okay. And then said, where are you moving? I said to him, I moved back to Manchester, which I'm not, but that's not his business. Again, fictitious. And he said to me, oh, why moving to Manchester? I said to him, oh, I need to go back there to my family. He said, I don't like it. I said, have you been? No, but I don't like it because you're going far away from me. Okay. Then he said, when are you going? I said, I'm going on Sunday. Again, a lie. He said, oh, can I take you? I won't charge you. Can I
just say also,
take your wife.
If he was cute, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
If he was, in your case, an overlooking somebody, you would have gobbled that up. You would have.
No, because he's actually gone too far.
Oh, yeah.
So he wouldn't have to do all of that. Can I take you to Manchester? That's stalkerish behaviour.
No, that's
I
true.
can't meet an Uber driver. You're going to try and kill me. Are you all right? The story writes itself. Jamaican girl goes to a storage container, gets in the Uber, and the man kills her on the way to Manchester. Are you okay? No thanks. I've got a lot of my life left to live. But if a good-looking guy who was funny and I thought he was nice asked for my number, I would give him my number, but he wouldn't have to say, where are you going? Where are you from? Can I take you to Manchester? That's all too much. And after all of that, after his offer to take me to Manchester for free, do you think he even gave me like any kind of discount on my trip? Absolutely not. Idiot. What's the point?
Right.
Dropped me in Shepherd's Bush. I paid £21 and I got out of the Uber.
Okay. Well, I don't like talking to Uber drivers anyway, so I don't know why you don't talk to these people. Anyway.
You don't talk to them at all?
Why do I have to talk to them? I just want them to take me where I want them to take me. I'll pay them.
To be honest, I feel like you've got a very, for someone who's not a London, you've got a very London face. So when you get into the cab, I don't think anyone's trying to talk to you anyway.
No,
Lyndon did talk to the cab driver. Do you remember when we went somewhere and the cab driver was trying to do a madness and was being really rude with your stuff? Lyndon, I thought Lyndon was, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just sat there very quietly. Do you remember?
Do you know how
Well, he was being rude, innit?
He was being rude.
I'll shout at them if they're being rubbish and rude, yeah. Other than that,
but Angela's right though.
High and by.
For someone who's not from London, you are quite like transactional.
It is a transaction.
Oh,
it is a ride that I'm paying for. a lot of money, so it is transactional. I didn't get
I
in the
think it's
car
more
to
than
be his
transactional.
friend.
I think he for someone who doesn't know him, would come off stush. Can guys be stush?
Absolutely.
I've been called stush for a very long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course
Have you
can.
really?
Listen,
I was
when
called
we
as-
first
I was
met,
called
listen, I
stush
thought
in
Liz
uni.
didn't like anybody
I
apart
don't
from his
think-
lovely wife Steph. I thought if Lyndon could have fire out of his eyes, he would have consumed all of us.
Sometimes I still
But
think
you're
that.
very nice. Now I know.
Sometimes
I
Like I
still
feel like
think
if you could, I don't know. Let me just leave it there. But you're very nice. We're gonna cut this bit out too because I don't.
why are we
want this
cutting it
to
No,
be-
we're
out?
not.
No, we're not.
No,
we're
we're
gonna
not.
tell the truth and shame the devil. We're black, no filter.
Okay.
Fire it out of my eyes.
I just felt like you didn't like anybody, but I actually realized that.
What did I
that's
do?
No.
Because I wasn't smiling.
No. Do you know what it is?
Sorry. First of all, a smile is a very inviting thing, and maybe if people did smile more, maybe people would think, oh, they're a bit more smiley, a bit more friendly.
There's
But it's not
there's many reasons why someone would not be smiling.
Because they've grown up. They've spent time in the rough area of East London.
There was a lot of.
If you land in East London, I think you've got an excuse for.
I had a lot of
any
smiles
behaviour.
in East London.
I had a
Thank
lot
you
of
very
fun in East
much.
London. Thank you very
I
much.
had a great time in East London.
Me
Okay.
too. In fact, I'm
What
in
is
Northwest
behind me
London,
now?
and guess what? I yearn for East London. I was there on Thursday.
you don't
I
yearn
did.
for
I was.
it.
I went to.
I don't yearn for
Why,
it.
like, why do you
I went-
insist on lying?
East London
You
was great.
insist.
It was great from the ages of 18 to 23. It was great. But then
Those
That's a
were
grow up.
the hood times.
Let me tell you, I was walking down the street in Walthamstow, yeah? Let me tell you, people in East London are mad. And because I haven't been there for 6 months, I think I've
I
kind
can't
of
let you say
forgotten.
that.
But you know what?
Let me finish my story.
I think the.
Well,
I think
continue.
the. I think
Walthamstow
the
is the ends. I told you that I
No,
saw
I
someone
know,
being killed there.
But I think Walthamstow, or at least part of Walthamstow, the postcode is N.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like,
North.
isn't it northeast?
But it's on northeast,
It's like
yeah.
northeast.
Yeah,
Anyway,
anyway, that's what it
I
is
was
to me.
crossing the road, and this motorcycle was like, it went in the road as well. So ordinarily, like I would either wait or the motorcycle would go, right? So I'm crossing the road, and the motorbike wants to try and ride at the same time. I said to him, "Hey, he's like, you've got plenty of space. Why are you complaining? Stop being a whatever." And I just said, "Wow, you know what? In East London, everybody has an opinion. Just either kill me or let me walk. Don't try
But see,
to do
in South
both."
London, they wouldn't. The person who's cussing the motorcyclist will knock them down. They won't even say anything. They'll kick your motorcycle. Have the conversations when you're on the ground. Anywho,
I can't let you say that about East London people, man. East London people are great. Some of my best friends in London are from East.
That's nice. Mine too. Some of my really good friends are in East. But let me just tell you, the motorcyclist wanted to really have an arms house with me, and I'm walking in the middle of the road and tell me that he's got enough space. Why are you trying to kill me? Either kill me or wait. Don't try to kill me and have a conversation. Just
East London is
because.
like a cattle shed, to be very honest.
East London's like a cattle shed.
Oh shit!
No, it's not.
Angela's not.
But you might have to take that out because I might move to East London. Who knows?
Yeah, but also you grew up in South London.
Oh,
is
We
it?
can't have this conversation
Yeah.
From
again.
South.
We can't have this conversation
South
again.
London can't say nothing about East London.
Are you okay?
I agree.
Even though you grew up in the posh spot,
From
South London can't say
from the
nothing about East.
From the very recently Londoners to someone who's actually lived in London for their whole entire life. This is the only place I know, and I know it well.
Yeah, and the only
No.
part you know is in South. I lived in East for 5 years.
know. Because you're inside my brain, aren't you?
I lived in East. Have you lived in East?
No, I haven't. But
No, exactly,
I've
I've lived
lived
there.
Have you lived in South?
No, I definitely don't want to ever live there.
No, you do. Thank
Maybe
you very
maybe
much.
Southwest, but
Anywho.
maybe Richmond only. But anyway,
Oh.
continue.
Yeah, that's also South, you know. SW.
Kind of.
No, it's not kind of.
I heard South people. We're gonna have this conversation now.
Guys, I just want to let
I've heard
everyone
South
know,
people say that Richmond isn't really South.
Lyndon
Okay,
and
and
Angela.
then you have a South person
Hi,
right
hello.
here.
Hi, hello. Lyndon and Angela
Saying
actually
it
had a
is.
whole geography quiz put on by the lovely. Shout out to Leo Parnell.
Yeah, shout out Leo.
Stand up,
Leo.
stand up. Bop. Leo did a whole geography quiz, yeah,
Done.
in order to understand and ascertain who actually out of Angela and Lyndon
World
quiz. It was on geography. I just want to let everyone know that it was meant to be my quiz because it was my idea, but we're going to move on from that. Sometimes people steal your great ideas. Anyway,
And?
Lyndon, I'm getting there. Anyway, Lyndon won the quiz.
Of course I
By
did.
10 points.
By
to be honest,
10 points. Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, it's true.
So we have
But
decided
it
that
was- it was
Lyndon is
close
the
enough.
king of geography.
The
So
world geography, London geography, that's yet to be determined.
Do we want to test our London geography?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And we can test it before the time. When did you come down here in 1995?
2005.
We can test it before that, because even if you came in 1995, I was already here. So don't test me.
Do you
Thank
really want
you.
to do this?
Oh, we can do it any day.
We're not doing it
when
today.
not today,
We're not
but when
doing
I
it
moved to
today.
2005,
But
it took me 2 weeks
You know
to
what?
memorize the
Talk to
entire.
camera. Londoners, don't you like it when other people who are not Londoners, yeah, or have very newly Londoners, come and tell you about the London that you know?
All right, so
Right.
I've spent my entire adult life in London.
So, and I spent my entire life
Yeah.
in London.
You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna do the pop quiz on London, because first of all, it should have been my quiz initially anyway. And you lot decided that no. Andrew said it's got to be somebody who's independent.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I will do a pop quiz on London. You're not gonna know when it's gonna come. You're not gonna know how long it's gonna be. It's just gonna be. But we're having a quiz. We're gonna do it live on the podcast. Everybody, stay ready. Okay.
But just make sure that it is there are no
will be a-
questions.
you know what? I
that
will
are-
ask-
that are because you know what. Let me
Sorry,
rewind.
are you asking the questions?
No.
Okay.
But I'm actually putting my input before I subscribe. Alright. So
You are subscribed
we're
already,
actually
babes?
dealing here with King Confuser. He likes to do word tornadoes. Were there any word
tornadoes in the world geography test?
Because Leo did it. Because Leo did it.
What about Leo?
No, but can I say?
Leo did a
And
great
you tried,
job.
And you tried to do it, but it wasn't working.
Wait.
What I'm trying to say to you is that
I still won.
Lyndon, you come
Significantly.
You will come with facts that you know are true, even about yourself. Somebody come and hear this. You come with facts you know are true about yourself, and Lyndon will out talk you to start thinking, wow, maybe I didn't know what I knew. That can't happen. So you need to make sure there's a yes or no answer, or there's a very clear
You know
answer.
what?
And
I'm gonna
doesn't
ask
matter.
Malimo to help me write the questions.
Absolutely. And I think also there needs to be a set written down answers that people are going to answer. So you can't pull up any of your web pages from London Live and bring up the answer that you think that is the right answer when that's not the answer that she was looking for.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that you can't try to find things to support your answer. You have to answer the answer that they want.
Okay. At what point did that happen in the last?
No, it might not happen, but I'm saying if you're
Did
thinking about it
okay,
happening,
I just
I'm
wanted to
talking
make
right
sure
now.
that everyone here and all the audience know that didn't happen in the last
No, it
last
didn't,
test.
it didn't.
The last
By
test,
God's
I
grace.
just beat you
God's grace.
by a superior amount of knowledge, right?
But I
and
did
I'm
well.
going to beat you again by a superior amount of knowledge. All right, that's the only thing.
God bless you.
That's the only thing I'm relying on.
God bless you.
Have you ever heard a God bless you using that way? Because that sounded like more than a God bless you to me.
God bless you. My answer is God bless you. My children bless you. My goats bless you. My cows bless you. Everybody blesses you, innit? Now be on your way.
Keep it in.
I
You
might
don't
take it out.
understand.
No, keep it
No,
in.
we're gonna take it out. No, we're gonna take it out. Well, we're not even recording. What are you talking about? We're
We
not
are recording.
No, we're not supposed to be.
It's absolutely recording right now. So,
Okay.
don't nod at me like that.
What?
Why you nod at me like that? What are you nodding at me for?
Why? Do you want me to take mad at you? Lyndon, don't fight things me today. Let's continue. Okay. So this is we talking about Famalam, and I asked her, how would you want to enter in, and then now everybody wants to talk about sex. But that's not going to help us. Again,
Let me
so
make one thing clear. Not everybody wants to talk about sex.
you're the one who brought it up.
Don't point your
You're
fingers at
you're
me.
talking about sex in different area codes.
Do you know we're
Yes, you
recording?
were.
Stop talking. What do you mean sex in different area codes?
No, we're not talking about sex in our area code.
Stop right now.
Okay.
Lyndon. Stop right now.
You do realize that I have this in my
Lyndon,
hands
we're starting
to send to the world,
No.
and you're still talking crazy.
No.
My eyes couldn't have gone any bigger. I said, sex in
In
different
my head,
area
we're
codes?
still not.
We're recording
No,
now.
okay.
Right
you need to enter your
Stop
head. We're
saying
recording
sex.
Well, how are
right
we
now.
going to enter into Famalam?
Well, okay, right. So
Why can't I say sex?
I know
Up
what you
and Lyndon
say.
told us we have to talk about it. You don't understand why, as grown people, we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And then you're telling me that I can't talk about sex. This
Well,
is why
fine.
I'm troubled. This is why I'm troubled.
You can talk about sex.
I don't
can
want to
talk
talk
about
about
it.
sex.
The finger
Well,
and said
exactly.
you wanted to talk about
I
sex
have no
in
problem
different
talking
area
about
codes
it.
Yeah,
me.
you do.
No, I don't.
No. Lyndon said he's got no problem talking about sex.
I
Yes, you
haven't.
do. Yes, you do, Lyndon.
I
because-
haven't.
No, yes, you do. Yes,
I
you
haven't.
don't lie, because you know what? If we were to go into subject matter that you felt a way about, you would not engage in that conversation. It's just that because, like Obama, when you go and Michelle Obama, when you people go low, we don't go lower, we go high. But if we decided to compete and go low, who can go lower, who can go lower, we can. I think you and me can get down in the gutter just for banter.
Personal
And
brand.
you will be shocked. You'll be stressed. You'll be stressed. So don't test us.
I'm saying I'm not the one that's here worried about my brand.
Guess what?
Yeah, because
So-
you know what? Because you're having
Because
a
you're
brand
married,
too. Exactly.
and your brand is a married man.
Would you like your wife to be on a podcast talking about sex?
If she wants to.
No, but would you say yeah? Oh, great,
If
hooray!
she wants to.
No, you would not all the time. Like why?
You know what? I just want to say something. Yeah, this just leads to a conversation that actually it's acceptable and society deem it okay for guys to like talk about sex and do whatever. The repercussions of me and Angela talking about things that apparently we're not supposed to have knowledge of because we're single. And well, I'm single. I don't know what you're doing.
In 2020, there's plenty girls talking about sex on the
Yeah.
podcast.
And the
So it's
repercussions,
nothing.
and the repercussions are
There
still
are
real.
no
Not within our
repercussions.
church
Are you
community.
okay?
Not within our
They're-
church
they're
community.
well-
they're not talking. No, they're not talking about sex. So Angela and I will not be the scapegoat.
Yeah, that's what I have.
I'm
to
not
say
gonna
to
do. I'm
them.
not gonna go further with this conversation. It's
Yeah,
just,
you
there's no
can't
point.
even anyway.
I can, but it's not doing it.
Unfortunately.
Angela,
Unfortunately.
Angela,
Unfortunately.
Angela, you are so
Unfortunately,
irritating sometimes. I swear down.
And you know what?
I decided to stop the conversation because it wasn't going anywhere good.
Love it. I enjoy
Right.
it. That's me, and that's who I be. Thank you.
She said, that's me and that's who I be.
That's who I be. And who told you that I want to change? Who told you I wanted to be something else? I'm actually exceeding. I'm excelling at what I'm doing. Do you know? First of all, I want to start here. I want to shout out more. Like I like the fact that we're getting comedy on BBC that is more representative.
I feel like they've always been representative. BBC Three has always done. They've got a lot of skits.
Oh, was it BBC Three?
Yeah, it's BBC Three.
Oh.
They've got a stage.
I thought it was BBC.
And where's
watch it
BBC
five-
Three live?
On 9, it's not even
Yeah,
shown
I
on
exactly.
play.
TV anymore.
No. I'm not saying that. But Famalam's not shown on BBC One, is it?
It's BBC Three, exactly. So I'm saying
Yeah.
it's only online.
Yeah, but I feel like they've always been. You're saying we're
Yeah,
getting more
they had the
representative.
channel BBC Three, which had a lot of stuff. And they
Yeah.
took it off the television.
Oh right, okay. I still think that my point stands.
This is what
Me
we
and
said.
Stephanie have a friend that works in television.
Yeah.
And I remember when he was talking about it being taken off television and put online.
I understand.
Right, okay.
But what I don't think that negates from the fact that BBC Three has always been representative.
Oh, the
Yeah.
same, the same company that couldn't find the tapes.
Okay, excuse me. First of all, can I finish my sentence? So as we were saying, BBC Three is off the air.
Yeah.
It's
And
on-
do you know what?
yeah.
That was actually my fault. I was saying that I'm glad for BBC actually showing a bit more representation, but in actual fact, it didn't dawn on me that actually this is not being shown on the TV. It's actually being shown on BBC Three, and that kind of changes what I was clapping for them
All the
about.
good shows. Like, did you guys ever watch Some Girls? What? Listen, let me tell you, Some Girls was sick. That is a good little show about a black girl, a white girl, an Asian girl, and maybe like an Irish girl in school. Absolutely fantastic. And it was only on BBC Three, I think. Did you ever watch it, Seth?
Yeah, I did. I watched
Good.
that.
It was
yeah.
a good show. Like, and it had a few seasons. Like, it was actually just quite diverse. For me, I think that BBC Three has always been diverse. However, like,
It's like the one extra.
yeah, so it's not on. It's not broadcast on the mainstream channels, and you have to kind of look to find stuff. So when I used to, like ages ago, when I was going on iPlayer all the time before I was trying to find like a second and third and fourth income, I would be searching only for stuff on BBC Three. That's I think where Reggie Yates's documentaries are shown predominantly.
His stuff gets shown a lot more than that, though. I mean, he gets Netflix stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, this
so.
is before the Netflix stuff. Though. This is a while ago, and then they also had a sketch show with like a black couple. I don't know, whatever. So I think they've always tried to do stuff, but it's not good enough.
It's their job.
No.
It's their job to do that on the BBC Three.
Why is it their
It's
job?
their job to get stuff that's for minorities. That's what they're supposed to be doing.
Oh, okay.
It's for a younger. It's for a younger and
More urban.
more
No,
urban
we don't like
audience.
that word.
I don't,
Well,
I
that's
don't
what
Take
mind.
that
use.
word out.
That's the word they use.
That's
I don't
the
know
one
what
that
other
they
word meant
use.
to use. That's what they're supposed to be doing. It's the urban BBC.
And that's the only
but
word that we can
they're
actually
only
use.
able to do it off the television, which doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. It was on TV before. Why isn't it on TV now? BBC One and Two still on TV, putting all loads of
What
trash.
even comes on BBC Two?
Absolute nonsense.
BBC Two, like documentaries,
Nonsense.
and also like Antiques Roadshow,
Nonsense.
I think. Homes Under the Hammer.
Homes Under Hammer. Nonsense.
But it gets addictive,
Yes, addictive nonsense.
Yeah,
Nonsense is always addictive.
it's true. Anyway, Angela, tell me about Famalam.
Anyway,
No. So that was the first time I saw it being promoted, like the promotional clips or skits that they decided to show on Instagram. And yeah, I watched a couple of them. One of them was the Jamaican Countdown one, and the other one was
Why
the
is your
Jarrell.
voice Linda? What's the name? What's the woman called? The female.
I can't do it today. I already told you that my head
Midnight
is
Storm.
headaching. My head is headaching me already.
Sorry.
And the other one was his drill birthday message.
yeah, they're two skits.
Drillagram.
They're two skits on the first episode of the third season.
Do you watch it?
I watched the first episode, and both of them were one there.
Did you watch it before that?
No, I watched it after that.
Okay.
What's
So I
the
didn't even know it
premise of
exists.
Famalam? I'm sure I've watched it, but actually maybe I've watched something else. I watched a series of two black guys living in North
I don't know what that is. Family I've watched before because I'm like, oh, something for black people
Is it just
on
a
the
sketch
TV.
show?
It's a sketch show. That's it.
I haven't seen it then.
Yeah. Right. So there's two skits, and they both had different
There's more than two
responses.
skits, but these
No,
are
the
the
two
ones
skits that we're talking about,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that most people have seen,
Yeah.
and most people have been sharing, and
Yeah.
people have been talking about it with very different energies.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is, well, I don't know if it's the first one in the show, but whatever. It's the first one I saw was a Jamaican Countdown, and I thought it was horrible.
So I only just watched
from
that, by the
entirety
way.
from beginning to end.
I mean, there was one little part which made me chuckle a bit. I laughed out loud, but the rest of it was actually nonsense. And the other one, the drill one, was actually funny. And I think people don't really understand why one is funny and one isn't. But it's not funny, first
Yeah.
of all.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
And it's not like because comedy is meant to be something that's actually meant to be intelligent. You're meant to flip people's perspective on things or their expectations. And all they did was babble about a bunch of stereotypes. Right?
That's
It was
true,
just stupid, right? But the drill thing, they showed that the people actually understood drill better than they did Jamaican people.
Yeah.
Because they just went to the low hanging fruit on the Jamaican thing,
Yeah.
and the drill thing was actually an intelligent skit.
Can we talk about? I did not like the countdown sketch. I just thought it was funny, but it didn't make me laugh out loud like the drill.
The song in the
Yeah.
middle was funny.
I actually didn't think that bit was the funniest.
No.
I actually think that with the sketches, I think that they're trying to speak to like sometimes stereotypes and sometimes truth.
All the
Not all. I'm saying like stereotypes. So like you had the black boys come in and doing rapping in like as drill artists. They could
Yeah, but
have
that
been
was
anything
actually
else.
funny though. That was actually funny.
But
For
so what I'm trying to say,
reasons that I'll
some
explain,
some people found the Jamaican Countdown one funny.
Yeah.
I found it kind of funny. I don't know if I definitely didn't find it as funny as the drill one, but I'm trying to like honestly like I really want to understand where the line is drawn. Now to me, I think there's some. Like so, because I've seen
what?
no, so
I
like
would think-
when does it stop being funny and stop? Because I've seen other like sketches, for example, of like stereotypical like African families or Nigerian families or like aunties or like they'll always pick like there's countries that always be the flag for that or the
For the butt
So-
of the joke.
the butt of the joke or for the flag for different demographics. So like maybe when they're talking about like Caribbean like stereotypes, if they had to pick a country to be the where the people are coming from, they'll probably pick Jamaica. The same with Africa, they tend to always pick Nigeria, sometimes Ghana, even though it's a whole continent. So I know that there's like even like Little Miss Jocelyn, that she's or like other sketch shows and stuff like that. They've done like very stereotypical, like not necessarily intelligent, but something that we can like exaggerated stereotypes that we can laugh at because some of it is
Lowest
true.
common denominator.
Yeah, some
Yeah,
a thread is true and some of it is very exaggerated.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, I can understand why some people were offended. I'm just trying to figure out where is the line drawn. Yeah, no, where's the line? Because you're saying it needs to be intelligent, but we know that actually comedy can range from. I think sometimes they're just trying to pick on the exaggerated stereotypes, and sometimes mix it with a little bit more intelligence. But exaggerated stereotypes, and there's several comedies that do that, and some people find them funny. Whether we find them particularly funny is something different. I'm trying to figure out, where does it stop being
offensive?
where does it stop being comedy and start being an attack, or something has gone too far?
But isn't comedy there to find light of the very of the commonalities that exist in everyday life? So if that's like things around culture, so for instance like Jamaican culture or Caribbean culture or African culture, isn't comedy just there to make light of that? Like, isn't that what comedy's there for? Like, wasn't someone talking about back in the day when people just didn't get offended about things in comedy, and you were almost allowed to make fun of things, and nowadays everybody's a lot more sensitive, and you've got to be a lot more politically correct, which is not what comedy should be.
The level of comedy is higher now. You got to reach higher.
Why?
You can't make the stupid jokes you made in the 70s. Just doesn't work anymore. Just doesn't. You got to try harder, and they have the ability to try harder when they're talking. Do you know? So Tom Mucci made a tweet. He tweeted something when he found out people were talking about the Jamaican countdown.
Who's Tom Mucci, the guy behind Famalam?
I think he's probably the most famous one, I guess. He was in the.
Did he not write it?
I don't know who wrote it or anything, but he's involved, right? He said, "Famalam is a sketch show that plays on all stereotypes. I believe the show is not one for selective humor. It's very interesting that no one was outraged when he exaggerated the stereotypes of the African aunties or the Midsummer Murders. Very telling, in my opinion." So that tweet,
I didn't even know he tweeted that.
Yeah. So that tweet is him basically saying, "Why are you Caribbeans crying about it? We've made fun of Africans. Of course, you're African. You made fun of Africans, and you understand that culture. So obviously, you're gonna do a better job. If you haven't got enough Caribbeans to do a better job with a Caribbean comedy, then that's where you need to. That's where you
Do we know
saying.
the nationalities of the? Because I tried to look of the several people who were in that sketch. I mean, to be honest, this is what I'm trying to say.
It's about
who's
writing it.
So we don't know.
So this is what I'm trying to figure out. And
Hold on. He said as well. He said this. It's only funny when it's not you. That's the butt of the joke.
I agree with that.
No, that's not the truth, though.
I guess
He thinks I sense a kind of feeling that Caribbeans are upset because they're talking about Caribbean people. No, because you did a terrible skit about Caribbean people.
To be honest, I'm not upset though. Like, I just don't think it's funny. I'm not offended. So like, in the grand scheme of the world, I understand that it's entertainment. I'm offended and upset and disgusted by the BBC allowing people to use the N-word at 10 o'clock in the morning when people are literally having their breakfast and children are trying to just live their movie and not be traumatized by everything else going on in the world. That's what I'm offended, upset and disgusted at.
Yeah.
This, like a parody or a satire on Jamaican Countdown, I just think it's really lowbrow. To be honest, I actually think it's unintelligent. That's my personal opinion.
So
absolutely.
I'm not offended by it. And I'm still waiting for someone to explain to me why there's a man with his penis as the clock. That makes me angry because I just think that leads to like the fetishization of black men, which is a separate conversation. But I've had enough of it, and I've said it many times before. That's what makes me angry.
Yeah,
but I'm not really offended by it.
And you know what I think? So this is me like honestly asking, because I'm trying to figure out, not even being devil's advocate, I'm trying to figure out where the line is. The line where it becomes not comedy or not like something that is like that shouldn't happen can't be when people don't find it funny, because there's always going to be people who find something funny, or when it's not intelligent, because there's always going to be a certain type of humor that's not intelligent. I'm trying to figure out where the line, where is that line drawn, because actually a lot of people started like I'm pretty sure that there was someone from government who made
which government?
I'm trying to like there was a
so I'd like to understand, because what part did you find funny?
No.
What part did you find funny?
That's neither here or there.
No, I'm just trying to understand what part you found funny.
I found it, well, not laugh out loud, to be honest. In all of them, I didn't really find, I mean, in that one, I didn't find anything laugh out loud. But things that I thought like, oh, I guess that's funny. It was the vowel consonant, like when they made a song out of it.
That was a good song.
To me, I found that that was enjoyable. It wasn't.
That was funny. That's when I laughed.
Yeah. That to me, that was probably the most entertaining bit of that for me.
The dancing wasn't funny. The clothes weren't funny. The bad wigs and weaves weren't funny. The man in the clock wasn't funny at all. The host wasn't funny. And actually,
the guy that was too high to answer the question wasn't funny.
That also wasn't funny.
There's a lot of things that aren't funny.
I just didn't think it was funny.
But I'm trying to say is that because the thing is I'm trying to figure out if it's not funny because it's personally not funny to us, or if it's not funny and it shouldn't have been done because it's generally crossed the line. Because I don't know if that's the same line.
So if I was a
drawn.
producer on that show, I'd see that skit and think this is crap. Take it off.
Mm-hmm. But that's taste rather than.
It's not funny. Okay, majority of people don't find that skit funny.
Well, in the YouTube comments, people found it really funny. I read the comments because obviously I hadn't really seen it. So I guess for me, I'm not asking the same question as Angela because I think comedy is always about taste. For instance, I think Kevin Hart is funny. Loads of people can't stand him. That's okay. That's all right.
He's definitely a funny person.
He sells out shows. Some people cannot stand him at all.
Yeah.
Which is completely fine. I think he's really funny. Do you know what I mean? But like if we take Jamaican Countdown versus Drillagram, I personally think more people find Drillagram funny. However,
it's more relatable.
Relatable to whom?
I think in general.
No, it's not relatable to people who are older than us. No, it's not.
I think
it's relatable to a particular demographic.
I think it is.
I think
it's not relatable. It's not relatable to my mum. No, it's not.
No, but I think it's a bit more distant.
The Countdown is relatable to my mum. Really? Not to my mum. No.
Has she watched it?
Yeah, she'll find it funny, but it's not as relatable.
No, but she still found it funny though.
Yeah, but she also found the Jamaican Countdown funny. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
She found it funny, but that's more relatable to her. Drillagram is relatable.
I'm just talking about what's funny and what's not funny.
I think I'm talking about relatable in terms of like, it's close enough for you to have an idea of what they're finding funny or kind of relate in terms of like, I've seen this before on TV or the kind of guys on TV, but it's not me. So, and I think it's not close enough.
Then.
Yeah, exactly.
You're removed from it.
Yeah, close enough for you to relate and find some humor in it, but not too close for it to bring about any offense. And I think I
what
talk
Tom Mucci said. It's funny when it's not you.
I think it's a mixture, and I'm trying to understand, because I think also when I'm thinking about this, I talk from a position of privilege because they're not making sketches about Randy's people, and so even if they make it about Africans, when they try to generalize every African to be West African,
most of the people on the show are actually also West African though. So,
yeah, but
so they can lend their hand to that.
Yeah,
as they are already West African. So
no, but I'm not talking about only Famalam. I'm talking about every comedy sketch that's been done about African people, whether it be someone playing, like, whatever comedy sketch that involves African, making fun of an African stereotype. Yeah. First of all, maybe I'm saying I think I took from a position of privilege because they're not talking about East Africans, and so I can be close enough to find it funny because I've seen this before. Or I can relate to the stereotypes in terms of like I can see where they're pulling that from and exaggerating it from, but it's never close enough to offend me because they're never talking about Randy's people.
But is that because you are removed, you and your family or Rwandanese people remove themselves from anything that is not East African? Because if I was to ask a friend, for instance, I was referred to as East African, I call you East African princess all the time, right? All the time, just for jokes. But if I was to ask somebody, some people might be like, oh, your friend Angela's African, what does she think? So for me to then say she's East African, they're going to say, what do you mean she's East African? She's from East Africa. Because you identify as I'm East African as opposed to I'm African, is that why you feel so far removed from West African satire?
No, because because we are actually far removed from the even when they try to draw stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole continent, so it's like me saying, like, it's even more than me saying that they do a skit about maybe someone from Guadeloupe or Martinique. The stereotypes that they're pulling from there are you're less likely to feel but it's actually probably the equivalent of someone saying, I don't know, like a Spanish Caribbean island in the Caribbean, when they're pulling from like a more of a Latin, like, it's not.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't be far removed. I'm saying because you feel far removed, and it is as different like that. That's the reason why I think for you're like, oh, those things don't bother me.
That's what I'm saying.
A country that doesn't necessarily have the identity of feeling far removed, I think it would bother them.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's what I'm trying to. So for me, I'm saying that I feel like in this discussion, I'm realizing that maybe I speak from a position of privilege because there are no widely known skits of random
But
East
So
African.
you've got to
even if
understand
there
that it's
weren't,
nothing-
you don't feel close enough to West Africans to be offended if
Yeah,
there were
so that's
something.
that's
it doesn't
that's
matter
the same.
if there's Rwandan skits
So
or
that's
anything.
that's the same line of thought, that even when they are African skits, it's not so close that I feel offended in terms of personally offended. Yeah, I know there's a mixture, so I'm trying to find also the other side of things. So I know it's not because it is about your country that people find offensive, because there's several skits out there or about the Caribbean or Jamaican stereotypes that people don't really find that
But
offensive.
do you find it offensive?
What do you mean?
So if there was an offensive Caribbean comedy skit, yeah, would you be offended?
I think when I watched it and I saw the
Not
man
even
in the
that
clock,
one, not even that
no,
one,
no,
but
in
like if
general,
there was
yeah, of course, because I think of it as in like in general, we're black people, and people in general, I feel like if there's any offensiveness, if there's any offense taken, and legitimate offense, that's what I'm trying to figure out, by anybody, whether it be Nigerians, whether it be Ghanaians, whether it be Jamaicans, whether it be Barbadians, I think there's a general side of me that feels offended anyway, because no one should be represented or being made, there should be no disrespect of anyone's culture, like blatant disrespect, you know what I'm saying?
then I think that's
Things
what
I'm
it
not even
comes down
talking
to.
about offense though. The thing just weren't funny.
But listen,
no,
people
was
find
ter-
it funny.
No,
though.
I get
It was
it.
so terrible.
No,
And
I get it.
Thing is, you can watch it and you can see, all right, whoever wrote this doesn't really know any Jamaican people then. 'Cause
That's what I thought.
It's really bad.
I didn't think it
bad
was even.
written.
To
I
me,
think-
felt like it wasn't written by Jamaicans. That's
No,
my personal
that-
opinion. But
absolutely.
whether,
It doesn't have to be written by Jamaicans.
It just has to be
But
funny.
you have to, if you're writing anything, and you want it to be believable or to connect with the people that you're sending it to, you have to understand something about that culture.
Yeah.
To make it funny.
But
and my point is, I don't think the person that wrote it had that.
No.
I don't think understanding about Jamaicans.
I
at all.
agree with you, but can I just say, so I watched it on YouTube because I couldn't watch it on the Buki site you sent me, sorry. But lots of
It
people...
was an Instagram page that she wasn't following. It's not the Buki site. Thank you.
The Buki Instagram page that I'm not going to follow. Actually, I'm following it now. Anyway, whatever. When I watch on YouTube, people were like, this is so funny. I love it. Like, thousands of people like, oh, it's so funny. I was very surprised because I didn't find it funny. But I think that just goes back to Angela's point that actually comedy is about taste.
It is about taste.
If you have a superior comedic taste, that's what you like. If you like Richard Pryor, you might not like Kevin Hart. That's okay. You don't have to. Kevin Hart is very bottom of the barrel, but I think he's funny. I do.
But you know,
Yeah,
but
but
we're not even
it's-
talking about that. I think to me, what I'm discussing is not whether it was funny or not.
No, but Lyndon is saying
I think
Lyndon is
what
saying,
we're trying to
before we
ask.
get to offense, it's not funny at all.
not
So we
funny.
shouldn't
So
even be
we can-
offended because it's actually not comedy. That's what he's saying.
So that's one thing.
And
like,
also
I'm
the
happy
fact
for
that
people
the
to say, I
person that
don't find
works
it-
there was actually trying to defend comedy. Nah, fam, it was not funny. Deal with it next time and do something better.
No, but
it's
I
not
don't think
funny
he was
to
saying.
you,
I don't think he
though.
was saying that it was
No,
funny.
he wasn't. You know, it was an attack on the Caribbean people because he was saying it's only funny, but it's not you. No, that
think-
wasn't
yeah,
funny.
yeah,
not
no.
because you talk about Caribbean
that's
people.
true.
So
because
I
that
think the
wasn't
way
funny.
I think the
wasn't
way
funny.
he phrased it was absolutely wrong, and I didn't even know he'd put out that tweet. But I'm saying that for me, my confusion was not about people not finding it funny. My confusion was the aspect of like offense, because I would never want for anything to offend people, and I'm trying to figure out the line. Obviously, there's always going to be offense. People are going to find anything offensive, but I felt like the noise from the people that found it offensive was actually loud enough for me to think, wait a minute, have I missed where this has crossed the line majorly? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Whether you
don't
find it
think
funny or
it's-
not,
I
there's
don't-
several things out there that I don't find
I
funny.
just don't think with comedy it's as clear cut as that. I really just think it comes down to personal taste, preference, and offense. I don't think we can I think you can produce something that's really safe and it's not going to offend anybody, or you can be like a little bit brave and think actually this might offend some people, but I'm just going to go with it. I just think if you're going to release something and it's art, then it might offend people, and I think that's because it's art. It's subjective.
So this is what I
people
think.
can take it how they want. Lyndon doesn't find it funny. People on YouTube find it funny. I just
So,
find it a bit stupid. I don't like
Same.
stupid
But
comedy.
why did you
so
think
that's
it was
not for me.
stupid? Why do you think it was
Because
stupid?
it didn't make sense to
It was.
me.
It was.
Yeah,
and not a lot
but
of
this is
thought
my
was
point. This is
put
my point,
into
though.
it.
So the people might find it funny. A lot of people might find it funny. it makes sense to them because
Yeah.
that's how they feel about Jamaican people.
But it's not just people who weren't Jamaican.
Yeah. On
And-
Instagram.
I'm saying people that aren't Jamaican that
I
are
know.
watching that.
Yeah.
That's how they
But it
think.
wasn't
oh,
only
maybe,
the
that's funny. Ha,
Jamaican.
ha, ha.
It was Jamaicans.
Because I actually went through the comments. I went through the comments on Instagram.
The comments say on YouTube. Oh, this is Netflix. Here we
I
go.
don't think YouTube has a verification thing anyway. So
No, but on Instagram, I went through the comments on Instagram. I think that there's several people. There was enough people that found this
I'm
offensive
Jamaican,
that it was.
and this is hilarious. This joke is it meant to be about Jamaican stereotypes? It's not that serious. I'm Jamaican and it's funny. I can't stop watching this. It's so funny from Jamaica. Now, there could be trolls, maybe, but I genuinely think some people who are Jamaican find it funny. Put it this way, Oliver Samuels isn't particularly intelligent humour. He's very slapstick, very not bottom of the bar, but very like obvious.
so intelligent
However,
doesn't mean not slapstick.
Okay,
Because sometimes slapstick,
fine.
slapstick is a different type of comedy. It doesn't mean that there's thought that actually. It doesn't mean there's not thought that goes into.
Okay, fine.
It.
I don't think Oliver Samuels is intelligent comedy. I think it's funny, but it's not intelligent. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, like, for some Jamaicans, some Jamaican people have watched this and thought it was funny. I don't think we can say only people who aren't Jamaican found this funny. I don't think that's true.
I think
Fair
that's what
enough.
I'm trying to figure
Fair
out
enough.
as well, because I think that when I've seen other things like Uncle Adolf in the very beginning and stuff like that, like the people pull on stereotypes. I think there's a level. I think there's a balance. I think there's pulling on a stereotype until it's funny, and then I think there's when they go too far.
Yeah,
To
but-
me
but
personally,
I don't think it's. You're saying where's the line? And I'm saying
no.
it's just not about
there's
being on the line.
There's lines personally. So for me, when I saw the man in the clock, I felt like that was a line gone too far. And when I saw the man say that I can put two children in your barrel or something like that, I felt like that had gone too far. But that's a personal, and I can say, you know what, I don't really like that. I like the song. I found that funny, and that wasn't necessarily intelligent. Them
Yeah.
turning it into a song
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh wow, this is mind-blowingly intelligent. But I found it funny. I laughed at it. I don't know. To me, I just felt like there was a lot of reaction, and I was trying to figure out when there's enough people who say that this is offensive. Then you have to stop and think, okay, maybe I'm missing something. Like maybe
I
I'm
just
missing.
don't like the
It's
using the
hot
word
air.
offensive because it's just no. It's not. It just wasn't. I've just got to say this thing over and over again. It just wasn't funny. And I was watching it. I was trying to figure out. Wait, hold on. What? So wait, what's the point of this?
You didn't laugh once. You didn't smile
the-
once.
He said that
The
he liked the
song-
song.
the
He
song
he
was
liked the
funny.
theme
Me too.
song.
And then
the
after-
theme
No,
song.
he liked the theme
Oh,
song.
I didn't
I didn't like
hear
the
that.
Well,
theme
usually,
song.
so skits have. There's a way that you set up a skit, right? You set up and you got a punchline, right? And I was trying to figure out where this was going. It didn't really go anywhere, and then in the end they were just having a little carnival party. And I thought, this is nonsense.
No, that's very
I
true.
also thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to end up somewhere else, and then when they just finished with soca, which by the way, I don't know why they're playing soca on a Jamaican skit, but never mind. I also thought there was going to be more, but for me, I don't think there was anything to be massively offended by, apart from the fetishization of the man in the clock, which
Oh, man,
is
you gotta
foolishness.
stop saying the word offensive. I just think it wasn't funny because I was like truly trying to figure out.
Yeah, but can it not be funny and offensive? Can it not be two things at the same
I
time?
don't care if it's offensive or not. It just got to be funny.
Yeah, I think
So
you're different.
you're happy if it's offensive as long as it's funny.
It's just funny if it's funny.
Yeah,
So
I
if
think
it,
you're,
even if it offends you,
Yeah.
or like black culture, black men, black women, if it's funny,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not how I feel, but that's all right.
If it's funny, it's not going to be offensive.
Why?
If it's funny to me, it's not
Oh,
going
it's
to be
only
offensive.
fair enough. Yeah, fair. I mean, I think
I'm not going to
that's-
be offended by something that actually makes me laugh.
Oh,
If it actually
okay.
makes me laugh. I
Yeah.
can't be offended and laugh at the same time.
I mean, I wouldn't agree.
it's the BBC is involved in a fresh race row as Jamaican Foreign Minister complains over Famalam sketch showing Caribbean men leering at women and high on cannabis. But see, so we're not talking about it not being funny. We're talking about it because there's several things on the internet that are not funny, but this is a step further. So we're saying, Kamina Johnson-Smith branded the BBC Three clip, which created a Jamaican version of the Channel 4 countdown as outrageous and offensive. Then it goes in, blah, blah, blah. They talk about this is out. So her statement, her tweet was, "This is outrageous and offensive to the incredible country that I'm proud to represent, along with every Jamaican at home, and with our diaspora, with our hashtag diaspora. I will immediately be writing I will immediately be writing formally on this. Stop this show. Hashtag stop this show. So that's what you're talking about, something very personal, saying that you didn't find it funny.
Yeah.
YouTube and internet and TV has a selection of things, and to be honest with you personally, I find very few funny. But I don't get this angry about it. So,
I haven't seen anyone get angry
about
it.
I understand why that Jamaican is angry about it. Because that's not the Jamaica that she knows.
No,
that's the Jamaica that a lot of people. That's the only Jamaica that they know.
It's not the Jamaica that I know.
Exactly.
Either, to be honest.
Okay,
that's not the Jamaica that anybody in here knows. That is a Jamaica that most people in this country think exists.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the problem. Why again? You've got a skit showing Jamaica is showing that small sliver of the island. Again, we've got a whole show, of black people, of black things, but the one Jamaican thing shows that.
But is that
that damages us to everyone else in the country.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Have you seen? So I've seen several skits of Nigerians being shown as tricksters, as fraudsters, as uncles that drive, or Ghanaian men as uncles that drive Uber.
Do you know what?
I know, but these so there's.
You know what? I haven't seen several skits of that yet.
I've seen several. Even what's his name? What's that gun? Man's Not Hot. Yeah, Michael Dapper has a character who is a Ghanaian Uber driver. Yeah. So I've seen several from Uncle Adot, from several people. Those kind of skits. Then we talk about like Little Miss Jocelyn. I think on one of her skits she was a parking attendant and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So my question is, I'm not saying that people are not offended by it, but I'm trying to figure out where is the line drawn. And where is it? So when you say stop, when we're figuring out what is appropriate to put on TV or to make and what is not appropriate, I'm talking about that line. Where is that line drawn? Because we can say that for all of those other skits that I've seen, that they show them.
Have you not seen more?
Do you know what I think the problem is?
Showing West African people.
Do you know what the problem is? Do you know what the problem is?
You tell me those are the only ones that you've seen of West Africans are those.
Those things. You said more other ones.
So on Famalam, if you watch one episode of that, you're gonna see very different African people.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna see that. You're gonna see a diversity of different people.
Yeah.
Right. If you're white, you're gonna see a diversity of different comedy.
Yeah.
If you're Jamaican and you just see that.
Yeah.
And everyone else just sees that. That is a representation of your country.
But hold on a second. I actually think the problem is this. The show was the skit was Jamaican Countdown. It wasn't Caribbean Countdown.
Yeah.
It wasn't Black Countdown. Mm-hmm. It made it very clear. And everyone likes to attack the very small island of Jamaica, and we're responsible for a wealth of things around the world. Mm-hmm. No, but for real, I think it's just too easy. So for me, I think if the show was called Caribbean Countdown, there wouldn't have been uproar from a foreign minister in a Caribbean country to be like, this is unacceptable, blah 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 blah. I think they're pinpointing and they are stereotyping and they're showing the worst stereotypes. To be honest with you, they're the worst stereotypes of Jamaica. So obviously that's why the foreign minister was angry. To be honest, I'm angry, but I also feel very far removed. That's not the Jamaica that I know, and it's not my family. So I feel as far removed as you feel from West African satire. To me, it's not funny, but I'm not offended by it. I'm just like, it's just not funny, and it's also it doesn't relate to me. But I think it's because it was called Jamaican Countdown. It didn't need to be called
So this is what. So I'm not even. So just to clarify, I'm not trying to be devil's advocate. I'm trying to understand because I feel like picking the worst stereotypes, seen that done before, to a plethora of different countries, calling it a specific name, like that I've seen that done several different times. But I think what I'm hearing is that in terms of Famalam, this was the only sketch that depicted people from Jamaica or the Caribbean, and it was only low-hanging fruit and only bad, certain like stereotypes. Mm-hmm. Whereas if there had been several other sketches that you say like there are several other sketches on Famalam,
because there's other ones.
No, So we can So it's that it being it's basically being
it'd still be bad
being depicted in different lights. So I can understand.
I also, but the point needs to be made. It said it called out Jamaica. Little Miss
Yeah, I'm
Jocelyn
talking
didn't
about
walk
Jamaica. Yeah, I'm
around
talking about
saying,
Jamaica.
"I'm a Nigerian car parking attendant." It was just a West African. So she could have been from a variety of different countries. So it's very obvious that she's African, and the auntie shows that it's obvious that she's African. But
Yeah,
they're
but
they're not pinpointing the countries. To me, that's the reason why you've got uproar from whoever.
Oh, so
But
if
this
you
is
feel like
different,
if
so
people
this is-
Caribbean,
it wouldn't
calm down.
I don't think it would have been as bad. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, it'd be
it wouldn't have been
slightly
as
be-
bad. You wouldn't have had a foreign minister of Jamaica saying this is an unacceptable.
Okay, it would have
I feel like
eased
more
it
people-
just a little bit, but it was still crap.
I'm not saying that it was good. I'm just saying for
No
me.
one's saying it was good.
For
It
me,
was
it would have
no
eased
one's
it a
saying
bit.
that.
she
Yeah.
didn't like. Everybody who watches that is going to think, "Oh, Jamaica, ha 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 ha." If it was called Caribbean Countdown, like they're still going to think of Jamaica. But for me, they made it like there was no need to make it. There was
So
no need to call it so
specific.
specific because actually, like everybody always says, people want to come here and say they're Jamaican and they're not always Jamaican. All these Jamaican food shops that you're going to that you don't like good service from, they're Grenadans or people from St. Vincent and the Grenadines or people from Barbados or people
Oh,
from
okay.
St. Kitts. It's true, and I stand by it.
Oh,
It's true.
And
maybe.
we-
Actually, I was looking in the comments and there's a lot of people angry. Just the top few are people
On
happy and-
on YouTube,
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought
Just
so.
scrolling down,
not on mine.
There's a lot. There's
Not on the
people
Instagram
saying,
post.
You know,
I saw bad ones on Instagram posts as
I
well.
don't care about stereotypes. I just don't think it's funny. The script is poor. I'm a Jamaican living in Florida.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not mine.
see?
That's not what mine says. Me,
You gotta go. You gotta go. Keep going.
No,
okay,
I'm
no,
sure. So going back to really trying to figure out where the offence, like where something becomes offensive and disrespectful and where it's still comedy, I think we've all agreed that basically if it like, whether it's funny or not, is kind of like a personal thing. So I didn't find it funny. Lyndon definitely didn't think it was funny.
I didn't find it particularly funny either.
And that's okay. But I guess my question would be, like, is it about like the detriment and the impact of that skit? So Lyndon was talking about basically many people will watch this and think that actually this is what Jamaicans are, or I know a Jamaican and maybe they act in a little bit of that stereotype. And if you're not Jamaican, and if you are Jamaican, you can't control the narrative that BBC Three are putting out there, and you're saying it's now on BBC One. So basically now it's all there for the masses, which is a bit frustrating because you've got great content on BBC Three that was just on BBC Three and just on iPlayer, and now you've got an opportunity to put out amazing content to maybe educate people, inspire people about the great country of Jamaica.
Yeah, it's just meant to entertain.
I don't think that was
And they
the
don't.
aim for
It's just
any.
also entertained. But like I said before, if that's the only thing you see of Jamaica, that's what you're gonna think about Jamaica.
No,
If it was a
absolutely.
vibrant, if you got a black show in this country, which is literally the black population in this country is half Caribbean and half African. If you have that, then you have that same amount of diversity in the show, right? Then you have a different type of Caribbean stories and African stories, and then it's equal. And then we've got nothing to complain about.
So
Nothing to complain about at all.
yeah. So off
But when
my
you have a whole show which has mostly African writers, a couple of white writers, and a non-Jamaican Caribbean writer talking about Jamaica, then you've got a recipe for disaster, and you've only got one as well. Only got one Caribbean skit in that whole show, right?
So I think that's where the problem lies. For me, so like I was saying, when I saw it and I saw the reaction, I thought, is there something, maybe I missed it, maybe I should be offended by this.
Agreed.
And so I was trying to check and see what I had missed. I didn't find it particularly funny, but I was trying to figure out like why I wasn't as offended and trying to figure out why, to really understand that. And I think for me, the one thing that has stood out is the fact that if this is the only skit of Jamaican people, and even worse than that, Caribbean people, then that I can see the offense because you're only showing that in one light. Whereas if there's a diverse, if they're shown in different ways and different skits, the same way like Nigerians will be shown as Nigerian aunties, but maybe be shown in a different way. And also, if there's a more thought put into it, like the drillogram was a bit more like it flipped some things. Like they came in to give like a birthday message. It was very positive. I think if there's that diversity and that balance, I think this wouldn't be that much of an issue. If the reason why it's an issue is because this is the main way that they're deciding to portray Jamaicans, and I completely understand. There I can see clear as day where the offence comes from and why we should be offended. Not only as Jamaicans, but as everybody should be say that this is not something that we really want to see. Whether it was funny, no, don't really think it was particularly funny.
It also got to be to say this as well. Obviously it's good that black shows get on on BBC because they starve us for so long, and we've got to be grateful for the crumbs that they give us. But having said that, we're happy that it's there. I'm happy that it's there, and I'm happy that that black creators have the opportunity to make something. But you got to do better if you're going to represent the whole black population in this country. You got to do better than that. And unfortunately, because you're one of the few black shows, you have more of a responsibility to get that right.
Absolutely. And I also just wanted to add as well that maybe sometimes like it is other people who are not black, the way they see these kind of like, meaning like if it's only Caribbeans and Africans and we're all laughing together about different stereotypes from each country, it's a very different vibe. It's like you and your siblings making fun of something that your parents do. It's very different to when if you're outside and someone says the same thing.
It's in-house and
it's in-house. And I think obviously you can't already have shows that are just in-house, but when they become when they are now on platforms where it's very easily accessible or nearly like presented to the masses, to reach the masses, it kind of probably takes on a different feel. And like we were saying, looking through the comments, Stephanie was looking through the comments and saw that there was a lot of white people as well saying that this is very funny. I think it puts a bitter taste in the mouth. Like you kind of realize that the way what you're finding funny about it is very different to what I'm finding funny about it.
You're either laughing at me or you're laughing with me, and it's different. What did you say before?
About
with greater responsibility comes greater responsibility.
Come on, say it. And
it might seem unfair as well that because I'm a black creator, I've got to do better. Unfortunately, you should have known from when you were born that black people got to work twice as hard anyway. Yeah. So you should be prepared to do that.
Well, I have to say something on that. But even before that, like it's the same way that people, man's not hot. What's his name? I keep on forgetting. Michael Dapper. And I know he really finds it annoying when people refer to him as man's not hot, but it's just because it's late. It's actually 2:00, and I can't think of anything. What time it is. Let them know that we do night vigil.
No, man. As far as they're concerned, it could be daytime.
Yeah, it's daytime. It's daytime outside. Well, it's gonna be daytime very soon. We won't be lying. But like man's not hot, that actual song, what we find funny about it and what someone who's white from the suburbs finds funny about it,
and even what Americans find funny about it, because he went on the breakfast show and it was very interesting watching like the interaction.
But I think especially white people from the suburbs or people who are not surrounded by black people, what they find funny about it and when they sing it, what they feel like they are, what the humor is true, it's completely different. And so I get that, but we were saying about like having to do better as black people. I really feel like it's true. With greater responsibility comes greater responsibility, but I think that sometimes the way in which we say we come so hard for black shows, black movies, black produced shows, black produced movies, black produced everything. Maybe because we demand so much more from ourselves, but I think we can channel that and say it in a way that it would be helpful for them to still continue, but to tweak and not offend us. Do you know what I'm saying? Constructive criticism. Like, we didn't find that funny, one, and also a lot of people found that offensive. Next time, could we make these changes rather than
they have the ability
shut it
to
down, take it off TV?
The thing is, we know
that's
they
very
have
final.
We know they have an ability to do it because we've seen them do better. We've seen them do a lot better than that. But the subject matter was different for them because it was Jamaican and they're not Jamaican. I think that's the problem. Get some Jamaican writers.
It's true, but I also don't think that they went out specifically to attack Jamaicans. Like
I'm not saying it's an attack. I'm saying it's just poor work.
Even if they did the same level of poor, if it was as low hanging fruit about Nigerians, me knowing that the Nigerian writers there would take the thing out of it, because I think, okay, I can actually attribute it for them being maybe a lack of thought behind of why would you pick this, like lack of not intentionality, but like a lack of like putting effort into this. Whereas at Stew, after watching it and then going to see that there's no Jamaican writers, you can read into that what you will. I think, to me, maybe it's just the lack of input from a Jamaican, rather than them actually personally going out to portray Jamaicans in this fashion for their detriment,
It's
for the
just lived
detriment of
experience.
Jamaicans.
You're not Jamaican, so you're looking on at something and trying to make it funny. Whereas actually, if you maybe I guess if you were smarter, or if you were Jamaican or had a Jamaican writer, then perhaps you wouldn't have made some of the, for me, obvious like mistakes or blunders that.
But I know a lot of Jamaicans who can write. I know a lot of non-Jamaicans who will write a skit about Jamaicans and it not be so low hanging fruit.
I don't know.
And I know writers who are not Nigerian, they might be something else, and will write a skit about Nigerian aunties,
Maybe
and it not be like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think
I hear what
especially
you're
in
saying.
London, where we have this shared black culture, or in the UK, sorry, I'm so sorry. In the UK, especially in a lot of major cities, yeah, where we have this shared, especially in a city, when we have these shared black like culture, I think it's very hard to find a Nigerian who's never been around Jamaicans who don't know better to do better than this. Do you know
they
what I'm
knew
saying?
enough to do the
I don't
accent.
know.
They knew enough to do the accent quite well. Wasn't perfect. There was some
And
things
also,
that
the actors
accent
are
was-
probably not all, like, the actors might not be all the writers.
they are.
Oh, okay.
So the writers are the people that were sitting there,
Oh, wow.
plus some other white people in the background as well. But those people sitting there were actually writers.
Yeah. I just think, you know what, we can give our construction criticism, and I hope they do take it on. I think that we also continually, like, this is, I think, the running theme when we talk about a lot of black produced shows, especially. Our criticism
We don't really
shouldn't
have
be.
any. That's the problem. We don't really have any.
Yeah, but it shouldn't
This
be
is the only
final.
one.
Like, no. We've talked about something else. There was a movie that had Idris Elba, I think, and the Indian lady. They're talking about like a black activist in the UK. Oh, anyway, I'm just saying that we should not have final. We should not.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna. I'll find the show. But I'm saying that when we give our criticism, it shouldn't be so final. Like, it shouldn't be like, okay, take this off. No, we don't want it, and boycott
no one's
it.
trying to say take
that
the show off.
energy.
No.
Well, I saw that energy. I'm
Yeah.
saying that energy. Like, we can just modify some things. We don't have to come to completely kill off like a whole show off one.
Yeah, we
skit.
can unify our voices
Yeah.
and ask for better as
Yeah.
opposed to ask for cancellation. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
But I mean, it's like I said, it's not a judgment on the whole show.
I haven't
Listen
watched
to good
it. I
stuff.
need to watch it.
Like I said, we haven't really spoken much about the drill skit. That drill skit was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was actually brilliant. There's so many different layers to it that made this. Okay, this is actually funny. There's some things in there that most people might not see, but it's cleverly created. Like the fact that the black woman is there was there in her work voice. The fact that she had a boyfriend that had a mind to get a drill birthday song, which means that at home she's a different person. The fact that the white people sitting there watching his birthday were just so shocked in awe because they were drill people. It was great.
I think
Everything
it was
about it was
relatable for lots of different people. It's
Yeah.
relatable for my white friends who are those white people in the office.
Who are those?
Yeah, because that's true. It's true. It's relatable for the black person who maybe is code switching and has a white voice at work and doesn't necessarily feel comfortable or safe or whatever.
But she's somebody else at home.
Yeah, to expose who she not expose, but to kind of reveal who she really is. And it's definitely relatable for people who are literally roadmen in South London and just do it.
There isn't any roads anywhere
and
else.
who are drill, like, do you know what I mean, like who enjoy drill or drill arts. I think it's just relatable, and it also it challenged your thinking on it. That's why it was so funny.
Yeah, and little clever bits where it's like it's gluten free, things that you wouldn't stereotypically think people cared about. Like, he just shows that actually
Gluten-free thing still.
Yeah, so yeah,
Thing still.
yeah.
And can you validate my
Parking.
parking? Because actually we don't all walk, and we're not all taking the train.
No.
We're not all on the bus.
Nope.
And I think that's why I like it, because I like comedy that's a little bit educational and quite funny. So yeah.
Oh wow! Let me tell you something. The time now is 2:21. 2:12. It doesn't matter. Let's not split hairs. Let's not split hairs. Right.